Welcome to Corrode, everyone. In this video, I'm going to be running through the entire map, going through different angles, plant spots. Also been covering the meta agents. I think will be really good. If you don't know me, I'm a Valorant coach who's worked with thousands of students. I've also covered many other maps in the past. In this video, I'm going to try a different format where I go over attacking A and then defending B and then attacking mid, defending mid. You get the idea. So you can get the idea of how to approach this space, what to be careful of, and some cool meta spots that might be worth your time. But yeah, let's get into attacking A. The philosophy for this map, by the way, if you didn't know, Valorant's trying to get away from abilities being like super hectic and crazy. So this map is actually more about angles and fighting than any of the other previous ones. That's why it's so important for this to happen. But there's also some like really cool spots we'll cover, like this window here, and also this early sage wall here that just considers what's the simplest way we can use a piece of ability here to gain an advantage. Besides that, it's going to be a lot of angle clearing. So let's go ahead and start attacking A. This is very similar to Ascente main. You take this early peek. Attackers have the advantage here. So if you peek this at the start, there's no way you can get over here. And for entries, I would suggest you take this more left side pathing and just run up with knife out to get to this close area. Just to have an early scale. A lot of times the defenders are going to smoke here, and so the attackers get this orb completely for free. If attackers are going to contest the space, they're going to do like a Sova arrow here or like a Molly here. And unlike Ascent A main, you actually can't smoke off this space whatsoever. So the real way to fight this is going to be using aggressive abilities. Besides that, when you're attacking this space, there is this first angle here. Being careful of this window, just knowing this window exists is important, especially when like a jet pops knives. I'll give you a visual. I tried testing it with the sage wall, but sage actually can't see over this unless she jumps. So I mean, if you're sage and you want to do something here, you could do like a jump shorty shotgun play there. That'll be fun. Besides that, you clear this. You clear the left side here, clear the next angle, and then here's diagonal, so we don't have to worry about that. But your next start's going to be in this connector. It's actually going to be a little bit difficult to clear this angle. Because they could basically play anywhere alongside this wall. They're probably going to be playing here, so they have that cover, this right side cover playing on, or this left side. So those are the two spots we're going to clear. Is that one, and then that one. Okay. Your main goal though is probably going to be smoking off this here, and then walking up through here. All you have to do is clear up this right side. When you push through here, I would always suggest trying to get like your back against the wall as much as possible for angle advantage. For example, like here, if you peek the wall from here, you're going to be at massive angle advantage against this guy. If you guys don't know what that is, it was basically like right here, I can't see anything and my shoulder's sticking out. So this guy will see like the side of my shoulder before I even swing. So when you peek this, I would always suggest trying to like back up a little and then swing into it as much as you can. But you're just clearing that first angle, clear this, use this box right here as cover to clear this. And you continue to take the space, clear that corner, and also be careful of CT. So that's basically the idea. What you're going to start to notice is there's just a lot of corners and a lot of clearing. So like how you clear them is going to be very specific. So like here, if we hug the back wall, we're actually exposing ourselves to CT as we check this. And so maybe here we peek a little bit closer to the wall just to clear it. Or what I've been doing is just like jumping over this and see if I see anyone's head right here. But you can continue in the space. Big threat's going to be CT here. Continue to peek. There's going to be a lot of boxes that people can play behind, so you have to check the edges of the boxes. That's where people love to play. That is clear. Then we check the edge of this box. Continue peeking the site. I would really suggest slicing the pipe for a lot of these. Check that corner, and you can't check this corner, but check behind the box. Someone could play edge box there too, and then you would just go through here and clear the rest of this. Careful of that, and that's pretty much it. There's just so much to clear, and your pathing can help a lot. So our second smoke would go in this spot to block off CT. That would allow us to better clear this. So this is going to be a very nice spot if you're defending this site. Is holding any of these angles, to be honest, is very strong. Even like a walkout angle like this is very strong. Or just hiding here till your teammates come out CT, catch one overheating. Also like corners like this are pretty nasty. You could do a crossfire here, it's not going to be as good. A better crossfire would probably be like a person playing here and then someone waiting behind this box to swing here. So player here and player here, and that player over there is activating because this player is in a more risque position. Before we continue, I need to clarify that these are my arms and not boobs. Also, if you're interested in improving, I'm now looking for dedicated players to join my 6-week coaching program. This is where you'll finally understand what's holding you back and get real results like this. You can also find over 50 resources in my private improvement community. It also comes with agent map guides, seminar recordings, and so much more. Visit Slayerkey.com if this sounds like something for you. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Besides that, if you go left side here, you just want to clear this corner. Again, a lot of corners to consider here. It's going to be a nice map, I think, for agents like Fade, Sage. It's gonna be a nice map for quite a bit of agents. I'm gonna talk about this more when we go over meta comps. All you have to know is clear left side here, and then you take this, and again, clear the corners, and really the edge of the boxes are like your main attention here. So break this down, go for the corner there, and it's the same thing. If you don't have teammates who are going through elbow, you want to make sure you're looking towards here too. If you're not, you actually don't need to like push into this space here. But I would really suggest, if you're taking this, that you take elbow control as well. You basically need to claim all this space except CT and this other guy. So basically the spots we smoke off, everything else besides that should be clear. And once you get on site, you're probably wondering, where do I plant? The safest spot is behind the metal box in this corner here. You're seeing a lot of people opt for like some cringe stuff. That's why I think I have a few ideas for how agents are going to be on this map. But planting this corner is good. Planting against this is also good. If you want like the god plant, I would think about just planting in like the middle of the open here, to be honest. I forgot to mention it here, but I wanted to make sure you guys get the best information. So these walls are actually highly baneable. It's gonna be really nice for planting, especially in corner positions where there's less room to diffuse. This side you can spam through diagonally and it'll just freely go through, so using some intel at the start. And then here you can't. You actually have to line it up so it's a bit more straightforward, which is really weird why they did this. But if you shoot straight on, it will actually go through the wall too. So if you guys do get control of main and you can walk up here, you can freely spam as long as you shoot pretty straightforward. Really weird. But there you go. This post plant is going to be absolutely nasty. Shooting something through there and spamming the absolute heck out of it. So enjoy that. Cock. Your god plan is going to be somewhere along this wall though, just because CT, playing for that CT position is going to be really strong. There's also potential someone could be around this corner here, for example like here, waiting to peek, and then if you do it right, you can also plant here. So I'll just plant it here. Remember, when you plant the bomb, to face against the wall. Face against the wall. And that's pretty much it for attacking A. So defending A, you have to know you're at a disadvantage here. I mentioned using all these pieces of utility. So we'll talk about meta comps later, but like using something like a Sage Wall early could get you a free orb grab and then a free control. People can't get on top of this like they can Ascent, which is really nice. I could also set up a crossfire here. Besides that, like this spot's okay, I would say. I would say the best spot for this is like against this wall here. I think this player here is always going to get smoked off. So this player here is kind of just like, it's probably going to be a duelist. I would think of this like elbow on Pearl. Or I would think of this as elbow on Sunset, or like you have this left side they kind of hide behind, and then also this right side. I think either of them is good, but just like having something activate, like a flash you can throw out here, or a flash you can throw out here, just for when they start to enter this space here. It's gonna be really deadly. This is gonna be the prime spot for a lot of utility, is stopping them from coming out from that smoke. Okay, besides that, this right side spot's okay. I wouldn't really think about playing here, to be honest, unless you're trying to like activate another teammate. So like I can swing here off of this player here, or like distract for this player here, so all these guys who are pushing up will look here, and then I can peek from this side and dominate them. When it comes to on-site positions, this one's actually going to be pretty nice. I think playing behind this box will be good, especially if you have something for elbow. So right now I'm seeing A is more of like a sentinel site, where they can just lock down a lobby control, like Cypher can camera against this, or like early camera here, or we can throw like any intel sentinel ability there, or even like at the front of main and like completely control that space. And then you can do the same thing like over here, which we'll get to. Oh, one thing I'm realizing is you can actually Sage Wall here and actually have the angle. Oh wait, but you have to, I just ghosted on top of that. Ignore me. Ignore me. I'm really like, maybe you can boost it up there. Maybe it's a boost spot. My bad. When it comes to CT in here, I mentioned this spot. so I wouldn't say there's anything really new to cover. I would just think about elbow a little bit more tricky. You can actually hold pretty close here. I would suggest not playing the corner like this, but instead holding an off angle like here. And so when you walk up, you can kill one, and you can use the box as cover just to quickly get out and go back sight. And then you can use like a piece of utility like a slow or a flash, or you can use nothing if you feel like you have the space just to get away, secure that kill. Okay, that being said, I wanted to talk about some meta agents I think are going to be popular on this map. So for A, we notice there's like a lot of corners to clear. So I would say someone who just has a lot of intel clearing abilities like Fade, 2 dogs and an eye, and also an ult that does it, but mainly the 2 dogs and an eye. Just to clear these close space, wrap that around the corner. Very quick, easy, makes it a lot nicer not to worry about something. The other thing I would think about is someone like Sage as a sentinel. Talked about this early wall you can do here and like see over a main. That one's really nice. I also imagine like people with a lot of verticality like Jet or Omen who can use updrafts or TPs just to get up in places very quickly are gonna be nice. I can even see Waylay starting to come back in this meta. And since Fade is here, I would think of someone like Raze being added to our arsenal. So this might be what we're looking at here. Maybe substitute Jet for like a Waylay. Maybe substitute Fade for like a Sky. Again, lots of util to clear, lots of intel abilities. And then besides Sage, I could also see Vise being used. So this is kind of the main thing I'm thinking of. I don't think this will be a map for agents without a lot of utility. And as I go through this video, I'll try to show you use cases for each of these agents so you can kind of have an idea of how to use them. That being said, let's talk about attacking A first from the right side. So you can see this is where the barrier is. There's one major threat when it comes to this angle, and that is all the way back there. Okay, so the attackers will be holding the window or mid top here. You can think of this similar to Sunset, top mid. When you peek this angle though, there's actually like no threats at first, besides this right here. So this player can see you. If they're holding window, they actually can't see you until you peek out into the open here. So this slant is kind of like your danger zone when it comes. So once I go here, they can see me. But if they're not holding this side, it means you can literally just like walk up here and get away with it, and then you could start to do a pretty easy A split. So we talked about like the A link being smoked off. Let me show you how to clear this. It's like that common angle, and then I would again just like break this down. This is kind of like cat on ascent. You push in that space, that little box there, and then again just edge of boxes, edge of walls are your main thing here. Edge of boxes, edge of walls, and then like corners. So like this corner I'd be careful of, especially if they do like, I think the counter here is gonna be doing like a smoke here, or the smoke here, and we're defending. Okay, we'll talk about it. And then you can push into here, and then it's the same kind of pathing and clearing that we took earlier. We're back where we came from. Yippee. I would be more mindful of clearing that corner though. Okay. When it comes to defending the space from this spot, you're mainly holding the right side here. Because if you go any wider, you're exposing yourself to 2 threats, and that's a big no bueno. It's a good spot for Omen, for example, to smoke bottom mid here. That's going to completely block off the angle. Let me show you that one. And that'll allow your team to get more like aggressive mid control. You can see this spot. They're very intentional for like setting up a lot of crossfires on this map. So it's definitely going to be a more fight heavy area. You can also think about one lane on top of this box. Again, this is for right side. So if players want to fight right side, you can hold here. And so the idea with this, I'm spoiling just a teeny bit, but the idea with this is you have someone holding left and right. Likely you won't be holding the same spot. Okay. Besides that, you're probably going to be playing, I wouldn't really suggest playing here unless you have like a get out of jail card. For example, like you get a kill and you can TP out here. For the most part, I wouldn't suggest playing here either. Like it's just really important to consider your abilities here. Like if you just have to be playing around something here. If you don't have anything, you're kind of screwed. So like you don't have a close smoke here, you don't have a TP to get out. You're not like trying to poke around here. I think this is probably the best spot here. It's like right around this corner where you still can like get a pick and be safe enough to just like walk out. Or like the rest of these spots, they're like very calm and expected. So I would think about playing close up here and just waiting for a timing or a spot to peek out and use some abilities. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention too about this spot here is that you can actually walk back here and hop on top of this and jump on top. So this will give you an off angle for that first spot we talked about, and it would actually give you an off angle for the players coming up there. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about attacking mid from the left side. So I kind of talked about that one way that we want to be wary of, and this is the first angle we want to be careful of. It's that early peek coming from that player. Let me double check the timing real quick on that. Yeah, so you're going to have the beat on this actually. So we look at the map, you're spawning here, this player's all the way back here. So I wouldn't be worried about it right at the start, but that player could come peeking eventually, especially once you start to dive deeper. But your first thing's gonna be here, here, and then under. I wouldn't really say this is the best spot to peek in general. I think you're gonna see a lot of like smokes here to smoke off top mid and contest this space. And this will completely block off this player and this player down here. They can play down here. Again, we'll talk about it, smile. But I think for the most part, like, I would say it's best just to jump peek around this corner like this, see if anyone's holding it, and then scale into the space if you're planning not to use abilities. And then that's what I say, you'd walk up this side and like just be careful. I would clear this even if you're deciding to go to the top mid spot, even if you're deciding to go up here, just because you don't want to risk a player holding from here. That would be really dangerous for your mid push. Besides that, you can jump on top of this box here and just hold A on this back part and just walk up, so you don't actually need to jump here. That'll make this peek here a little easier if you want to fight that top mid player, or under here, or you can jump up here and clear that corner. This is a cool little spot. You can also control rotates this way, so this is going to be like a good lurk spot. Like if you smoke up top mid and then you get here, you're going to hear a lot of footsteps in this area, and you're going to force them to take that longer rotate through spawn. So getting control of this area is kind of like, I would just say top mid on Sunset again. It's very similar. Besides that, when you go through B, you're very likely not going to go through here. This is just not the best spot, to be honest. There's very limited space, very limited cover. So when you go through mid, if you're not lurking, you're probably just going to go B. And so B, it's the same thing. You'd have to clear on top of this here. That's probably your only real threat. And then when it comes to the actual angles, depends if they know you're here, but edge of wall, edge of wall, edge of wall, and then I would go over here and just clear these corners. And then this left one's a bit easier to clear, and then you have the side angles. So we'll talk about this a bit later. This will be our next site, but your main thing here is just to clear this corner here, and then be careful people holding the edges of walls here. Edge of wall, and then corner, and then also if heaven's not smoked off, be careful of that. Heaven's gonna be very crazy, and we'll talk about it very shortly. But that's it for attacking mid. When it comes to defending mid from here, this is a really nice outlaw martial operator spot right here. Just being able to hold here and watch the right side. When you hold it, you're going to be holding here for like 5 seconds. See if they peek right side. If they don't, I would think about holding this, because if they walk up and decide to peek this side here, it'd be really good. Or you can switch it up. Or it's also possible that they jump on top of the box here. So that's your two choices. You can either hold from here or hold from these boxes up here. Me personally, I think the best spot is actually going to be playing here. I think mid's going to be very jump spot heavy. Like I can jump spot this and just clear all the mid timings. So it goes for both spots. You can jump spot from back here, so the team doesn't have to worry about it. It would also be a nice spot for the Cypher cam as well. But you can also just like straight up hold it. The only problem is you're dealing with 2 elevations here, or right side you're only dealing with 1. So if you're opping or sniping, I would suggest focusing on right side. If they do smoke you off here and you're not opping, say we saw the Vandal, I would think about walking up to this left side here. Definitely can't walk right side. Like walking up here and playing this space is good. Playing this corner or playing one of the walk up angles like here. You can also jump spot from here if you're trying to get out. Again, it's a really nice spot for people who can just reposition like this. I really think Omen's going to be super meta. This guy's kind of broken right now too. Hopefully they don't nerf him. Hee hee. But yeah, I think mid's mostly just going to be an intel spot. Unless you want to fight it, then you like smoke bottom mid, and then you guys can test the space. I think it's going to be really defender sided if you do the smoke. And especially if we start using some like Sentinel util just to control it. It also opens up for like early flanks too. So I'm a big fan of mid on the defense side. Besides that, you don't really have a lot to play with here. I wouldn't suggest playing anything else. And oh my god, look how beautiful this map is. Look at this scenery. What is that? What is going on here? Who's that over there? Where are we? Game of Thrones? Also, why is there always cranes on the maps? I don't get it. Someone explain to me the lore of what's going on here. Why are there so many cranes? Anyways, let's talk about attacking B. So your main consideration when attacking B is you can't beat them to this angle, so this is more defensive sided. Even when the barriers drop, if you insta-peek, they can still cross to this right side. So I'm just going to say it now, defenders playing this right side is going to be very good, especially crossfire, especially baiting for someone who's in this corner. This wall is high penetration. So if you want to spam this corner with an Odin, when you walk up, feel free to. But for the most part, like I think, again, anyone with a get out of jail free card can play here pretty comfortably and then just get out after. You can also jump spot this at the start. It's pretty safe, especially with this box. Again, you can't really smoke on top of this stuff here. No smokes, no one ways. I think they're getting rid of that feature specifically on this map. So anyways, I think this is another free orb for attackers. I think this will be changed in the future, to be honest. Like, I think these orbs are too attacker sided. Like, I can literally just get this for free. I think they would move it like maybe to here or somewhere. Okay, that being said, we're gonna start taking on sight. So there's this little cubby on the left, there's CT angle. There, I'll just give you an overview. There's just a lot of angles when it comes to the site. And there's a lot of very scary spots and basically anywhere people can play. But remember, the spots we care about most are ones where there's like a little bit of cover they can play behind. Or, again, other pieces of cover. It's like this wall here, for example. So when we push the space, we're a little worried about this one. And then we're worried about this. Edge of wall, edge of box, edge of box. And then here I would say is decent too. But really edge of wall here, exposing yourself to heaven, I would just always make sure this is smoked off. Always, always. That's very dangerous if it's not. Make sure it's smoked out into the open a bit more. This one does not have to be flushed for all the people who watch skill capped videos. Let this one come out because you don't want them to step onto this and kill you for free. Kind of like split B heaven, A heaven. Anyways, continuing, you're gonna go here and then everything else is gonna be like top of box here. This is a very sketchy spot. Defenders could play here. This might be a little nifty off angle. For the most part though, I wouldn't worry about it. This is also penetrable by this. I could see some players like hiding behind this or hiding behind this. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff, guys. There's just a lot of stuff. So don't get mad if you're killed by a corner. Just learn and live. That's why I think intel agents would be good. Like Fade Eye here would literally cover everything. All these close spots. It would cover all of this, cover all of this, cover some of heaven, cover that cubby there. So yeah, I like Fade on this map. I think she's gonna do wonders. Also, if you can get it like right here too, another pretty nice one. Just saying. So initiators, you gotta lock in on this map. Anyways, you cover this and then you would clear that close right, but also careful close left there. Close left, close right. And then you continue to scale on the site. You have two paths, left side, right side. Me personally, I hate them both. Because right side is sketchy as hell. Left side, you're going to have to worry about this guy in your back the whole time. This is where our second smoke's going to go though. But they can still just be like right here around the corner. And even if you do like it out a little bit, they could just walk here and then hold like here. And that's even worse. So yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'm thinking maybe they change that. I don't know. But me personally, I like right side a little bit better. Just because you can use that as cover. And then you can clear this. That's going to be... Oh wait, we can't use our smokes there. Oh shoot, okay, I'd probably use a second smoke there actually. I would just leave that uncovered. Oh wait, that's actually super tricky. Are they trying to bring back Arbor? But yeah, I would probably use it for this mid player because he's way more likely going to be there mid in heaven. And then we just use this box as cover to come out here. And then most of us are taking right side pathing to like come on the site. And then we worry about these angles later. Anyways, continuing, go through here, clear this back side, and you go for plant. If you're Sage or Vice, you would plant here 100% of the time, and then do your wall here just to like block it off or force him off the spike. That's very, very nice. And then the other spot I was thinking of is right side here. So you can plant it for mid. If you plan to push up mid, you also plant it for main here. You wouldn't really plant it here or here because one, this is spammable, but if you're like going heaven, up here might be a good idea. Better yet, even here. You could think about planting here and then also like spamming them from here. You could spam that plant pretty easily. It seems really hard to counter, to be honest, if done correctly. Make sure you look in the corner when you plant, and besides that, the default's just that. Okay, loud and clear. I hope so. When it comes to defending B now, we got so many angles to worry about, so much stuff going on, but that also means we got so many angles to play. Okay, we have all these advantages here. So I would first think about heaven. Let me show you what heaven looks like. You got this corner, you walk down here, you drop down, you jump up. So pretty easy. You can also jump over to this. You can also jump over to this. You can also jump over to this. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff you can jump onto if you like parkour. The only spot you're really going to use is this or this. This one's not bad for an off angle, especially this crossfire with this person here is going to be really deadly on this site, I feel like. This spot up here is just so nasty because you can play basically anywhere on top of this and not get caught off. I would think I'm mostly playing this left side here and just falling backside after, and then using like a piece of ability after to re-peek the space. Like I can throw flash here, re-peek. You can also, wait, can you? I feel like you can. No, you can't. I talked about this angle here. That might actually not be bad, especially if you're tucked here and you have other teammates activating. Like I wouldn't be the only person on site playing here. But you could play like off this crossfire here, play off this person here, or even like this person here. I would think maybe a little bit, but I like this person in this corner better and swing off them. You can also play behind the box, do the same thing. Just wait to activate, wait to throw something. This would be really good for Omen Flash here. You can also play from like back here, but I don't think it's as good. I think there's a way higher chance you expose yourself. You could do jump peeks here too, but most likely you're gonna be playing this like backside area over here or towards heaven. When you're rotating in, you're gonna be playing this up down angle here. Just gives a little elevations. It's like that one deathmatch map. If any of you guys have played that, you get an up down here. Again, you can spam the corner there in case you think someone's playing there. Besides that though, when you come out, you're just clearing that corner. Where Christopher is. Christopher. And you're really only going to be looking here and here. So I'll just break this down here, here, and then I'll go over it, clear the corner, and then you retake the site. I think this is going to be the big spot where you smoke on retakes, and then you clear this corner, and then start to clear the rest of site. And someone's going to have to take this left side pathing, and then clear back site. Okay. When it comes to heaven, if you can get here and get angles, it's really weird after, but you can basically see all of sight from here. If you want to see under you, you can do a little jump out and swerve back. Okay, this players can actually hide from you under this, so you got to be mindful of that when you come out of heaven. But I could see like Jet or Omen being very good just to TP and their smokes here and create all these threats on site. One thing I forgot to mention for attack is that this is a perfect one-way spot too. So if they're trying to defuse the bomb here, you could just throw one way on top of them, insta swing. There's very little counterplay to that. Seeing if there's also one way potentially here. Yeah, you could think about it for these corners too. Like if you plant here, you could very easily just spam that corner. Now that I'm like actually thinking about it, this is just one way city, especially if we plant like here or there. Like there's just no way they counter that. So that's very fun. And that goes for both sides. So yeah, very nice spot for one ways. Holy crap. Plant it against the wall like this. Now when you throw the one way, now when you throw the runway, now when you throw the one way, look at that. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Boo. Yo, the video's not ending yet. Just wanted to say thanks for all the support lately. You guys have been incredible. And if you watch this long, either you really want to get better or you just like having me on as background noise. But one thing I've always wanted to do is help mature, dedicated players find others who also care about improving, competing, and connecting. On July 12th, I'm going to be launching a private improvement group, kind of like a gym, but for Valorant. You guys are the first to hear about it, so congrats. Stay tuned to my videos or join the Discord for the official announcement. If this sounds like you, the first spots will be available at a founder pricing. Anyways, that'll be July 12th. Appreciate you all. More soon.